Okay, so the last pivot table skill builder focuses on presentation using graphs or charts. So three charts or three graphs we'll focus on include line graph, pie graph, and column graph. Line graph is very good for showing time-based information. So the sales information over time, or the speed over time, or say the number of vehicles over time, which will be the example we use. Okay, pie graph is very good for showing distribution, and that's also in consideration of the total. So all the vehicles that are on the road, or anything that has a motor in it on the road, what's the distribution like in conjunction in view of the overall population? And now finally, the column graph is also good for showing distribution. But it is better to show relative comparison, not so much of the total itself. So it become clear as we come along. Okay, so a couple of important things to consider while doing graphs is clarity. So this is the most important part. You want to show less clutter. You wanted the viewer to get that one or two information and not too much of the other things. Okay, and also be informative. So your creative use of colors, labels, and axis scales if you need to. That brings out the clarity is very highly desired. Okay, so all right, the first example we'll go through is the number of passenger vehicles versus motorbikes in Queensland. And this one will be showing using line graph. So this is over time too. Okay, so in the example spreadsheet that I've given you is actually a composite spreadsheet. So this is partially taken from a Queensland data and partially taken from South Australian data. So as you can see, they're actually different in terms of its format. So the Queensland shows that over time, but the South Australian one is the 2018 Q1 data, but it shows a lot more categories, but doesn't tell you the time over time. So we'll start by showing the time-dependent Queensland data. So what we want to show is passenger vehicles. Let's have a look. Question again. Passenger vehicles versus motorbikes in Queensland over time. So my prediction, well, and it's quite clear that passenger vehicle will be a lot more popular. If you're in Asia, probably the other way around. Okay, so in order to plot what we want to plot, okay, so we need to select all the things we want to plot, okay, minus the things we don't want to plot. So hang on, let me just do that again. Okay, so you want to select the time information and hold down Control so you can select passenger vehicles and motor vehicles. Okay, so this is just showing that there are 156,825 motorcycles in 2011 versus about 204. Okay, so what I need to do next is go Insert, and I will probably wouldn't go recommend a chart too quickly because I want you to choose what you want to do. And the one you want to go for is the 2D line, and something like one of these will be very good. Okay, so in this case, we want to do, well, any of these really. All right, so have a look at this. Hang on, apologize. Insert, and I just want to choose generic one. Okay, so this one is showing me that there's a steady increase in passenger vehicles in Queensland. And on the same line, you have motor vehicles that are basically staying around the same, at least in comparison with passenger vehicles anyway. And you can see that the label's actually been done for you automatically from 2011 to 2018. Okay, but to someone on Trainline, they don't know what this graph is saying. So what we want to do is be as informative as possible with a couple of things. First of all, obviously chart title. You can say Queensland passenger vehicle versus motor vehicles. Okay, so I'll give you an overview of what the graph's about. And if you're inspired, you can also change like the colors, but they don't actually change the clarity so much. Okay. Right. Now next, we want to add access labels. So even though this is quite clear what it is, we still want to be as clear as possible. So you go to the plus little button, okay, and then you do access titles. And once you've done that, the two access title appear as default. So you can now select all that and say yes. And you can select this to say number of motor vehicles. Now further on, you can also change, if you click on the legend, okay, to tell you what color it is, you can actually change where they're displayed. Generally, they display on the side, although this actually compresses the data, so I'll put that on the bottom as default. Okay, so that's what you can do with the data, like with line graph. Again, time-based information, in this case 2011, 2018. This is very good. Okay, right. Now, second thing we want to show is number of passenger vehicles versus motorbike. Oh, sorry, that's the one we just did. Distribution of different types of vehicle in South Australia. All right, so this one here, let's do a basic data inspection now. Okay, so you have you have vehicles, which is your four-wheel things, and you got your motor vehicles, and then you trailer as your main category vehicle type. Now you got your vehicle type detail, which tell you a little bit more about what these vehicles are. Although motorcycle is just motorcycle, right? But that does break it down to what kind of motorcycle it is. Anyway, and we have the number of vehicles at the bottom. So I'm gonna do a very quick pivot table without explaining too much, because we should have known how to do that. And right. All right, so this is a very simple one where, again, I'm counting up the sum of motorcycle, trailers, and vehicle. And if it's already been pivot tabled, it's actually very straightforward because all you need to do is go recommended or just select one of the charts and that should come up. Okay, so again, this shows that most of the vehicles are your standard four-wheel vehicles in South Australia. But remember, your audience doesn't know, so you should really indicate what it is. Okay. Now, what you can also do is you can add the data labels like this, where it's showing the exact number. You can actually format data series so you can display other things. So, for example, sorry, format data label. Right now, it's showing the value, but you can also show that as series names. Oh, category name. I apologize. Okay, so if you do that, it's showing you a lot more information, and we don't actually need the legend anymore. In fact, so we can go delete. Okay, so your pie chart now shows the distribution of the different vehicles by type. Okay, and so that's what a pie chart can do. Again, all the other things apply. Okay, you can add more information, you can change the design, you can change your formatting, you can change the colors. Okay, so that's pie chart. Now, what if we want something? What if we want to show a little bit more information or show something with a little bit more sophistication? So instead of doing vehicle type, I'm not going to do vehicle type details. Okay, so now we have a lot of different type, a few different types. Now this still do the job, but I want to just change that up a little bit. By the way, you can go right click and you can go change chart type, and then I can go to a column chart like this. Okay, now you can again um, change colors. So you can change it to just something a little bit different if you want to.